And this is my name is Maritza Saldana, and this is my essay for this I believe. I believe in carpe diem, seizing the day, living in the present. There are those people who live in the past, replaying past memories in their heads over and over again, only dreaming of what could have been but never was, of past glory days that they wish would flourish again but never do. And then there are those people who only think about what may come in the future, hoping and yearning for a better tomorrow, better than what they have today or ever had in the past. I have lived in both roles. I was all about focusing in my future, only worrying about college and establishing myself as an independent individual. I hated it. It felt like I could not do anything without thinking about the consequences and how it would affect my hopeful plans for the future. Whatever happened to taking risks, having fun, or going with the flow, I didn't know, and maybe I would never know. But then again, living in the memories is not that much better. Growing up, I was a very happy girl. My family loved to celebrate anything worth celebrating, from birthdays to anniversaries, or baptisms to weddings. It was a happy time, so it is only natural to remember all those great memories constantly that happened in the past. But sometimes I found myself trying to relive those memories. I learned the hard way that the past is a past for a reason, and trying to bring it back to the present only keeps us from growing as individuals. But now, I live in the present. Why leave something for tomorrow when you could do it today? Why reminisce about past events when you know that nothing that has happened could ever be changed? Why should I put my life on hold, waiting for someone to come to me when I could just go get it myself? Life is much better when you stop and smell the roses and not just run through life like if it was a marathon that had to finish in the fastest time. I appreciate the little things in life that so many people overlook or take for granted daily. This I believe.
This is Daisy Sanchez with the essay, This I Believe. I believe that love can change your life. It doesn't matter if it's in a good way or bad, but it does change your life. You get to see the world through different colors. If you were a person that had never experienced love, it brings great joy and a lot of problems too. It's true that falling in love does bring you a bittersweet taste to your life. First your friends, and slowly those feelings change into deeper meaning. Once you fall in love, you want to be with that person. Be there for that person, protect that person, make that person smile, and please that person. There are a lot of things you want to do for that person, up to a point that you won't recognize yourself at all. You spend most of the time with that person creating a new world where only you and that person live, neglecting many things. Even if you do it unintentionally, you still neglect things. Love has a tendency to blind people of the reality that they believe that life will go on like it has been into the present. Some people are not blinded by the moment and are able to think of a plan in order to keep the relationship going even after departure. But then again, it all depends on people's action and reasons. Love changes your life by making you act in weird ways, either for better or worse. When you experience love for the first time, it could be a wonderful feeling, but sometimes love takes its twists and turns, making life miserable. This is when love changes your life for the worst. If you have a relationship of love that led you to disaster, you might already change your views of life to a worse state. You may see life as an unuseful thing and waste time for you. It may even make you think that the world's dark and nobody should be trusted. You may sink into despair, making your life into a dark hole that no one can get near. And if they do, you suck them into your despair. Love can definitely change your life for either worse or good. Either way, it is changing the way you view your life, the world, the society, your friends, love, friendship, everything will change. I strongly believe that life can be changed once love is introduced to it.
My name is Evelyn Sanchez, and this is my essay for This I Believe. Coming from a family of 4, I believe there was still room for several more. Having to be by myself is lonely and at times very depressing. I would play with my neighbors, but I was always the first one to come inside and wash up for dinner. Eating with my mother and father was dull. My brother was always out. Even if he was home, there was never anything to talk about. If my parents had had more children, there would have been time for more sibling interaction. This is what I believe, that if you have a family who is always united in your life, you will have it so much easier. Attending middle school was marvelous. Attempting to forget my father's alcohol problem was tough. I believe that having sports in a youth's world will automatically embrace the love for entertainment. The long hours spent in an activity that is being enjoyed will empower a mind for more success to come. Through this, more and more friendships emerge. No more loneliness, no more depression. Forgetting about the deprived childhood that I lived when I was growing up due to my father's addiction is now paramount. I believe that going to prison makes men and women more responsible, and it makes them open their eyes and realize that they have people who care about them in many unconditional circumstances. This, I believe, the high school is overrated. Going from class to class is less and less amusing. Seeing the same people, the same teachers, and following the same routine is just plain boring. Especially if you take AP classes. You get stuck with the same people for 4 years. I believe that AP students' true colors do come out. Sadly to say, but it's true. AP students know all the tricks from the manual and they think they know everything in this world. I hate it when they call non-AP students the regulars. I believe they say that because it gives them an extra boost in this regular school. This, I believe, is just an insane nightmare, an insanity that we all live in.
My name is Maria Solis, and this is my This I Believe essay. I believe that religion can change a person's life. Religion is a strong belief that someone is vowed to follow. It is an interesting piece in each and everyone's life. When a person follows a certain religion, there is always things that you're supposed to do, and there are things you don't, depending on what religion you believe in which there are certain rules to follow. For example, Catholics, which have the 10 Amendments and church rules to follow. There is also Christians that don't practice many events, but are very strict to what a Christian should do. For example, not going to parties. And they also have to contribute with their money to the church. On the other hand, the Muslims have to do more work for their gods and rules. They are strictly changed by their religion in a way that they can't dress the way they want. And a female has a different role than males in life. Every religion has different rules, different gods, different beliefs, but one thing they all have in common is that they change a person's life. They can change how a person thinks, believes, dresses, or even change their daily lives. The decision a person takes to follow a belief might be a good change or a bad one if they're in their life. Fortunately, I was one that changed in a good way. When I was younger, I used to be very bad with my parents, friends, and sister. I was simply implacable and really rude. I remember I would always lie and sometimes steal, but everything changed when I started to feel angry about what I did. So I started to listen in church. Although I went to church with my family all my life every Sunday, I didn't really like to pay attention. When I decided to pay attention, I saw the change in me. I read and followed the 10 Amendments. I believe in Jesus and I felt good about it. It was amazing, but I changed. I wasn't the same anymore. Now I was nicer, generous, honest. I didn't steal. But there was another change in me as well that I didn't like so much. I was more quiet, more scared of things. I was simply calmed. Now I dislike acting crazy with friends and doing dangerous things. Finally, I was stopped and settled. But now I wonder if it's a good thing that you can get controlled by religion.